Okay, good me this morning. You can see and hear me. Hooray, fantastic. Yes, I'll just take it. Oh, I forgot my water bottle and everything. Please bear with me 30 seconds. Oh no, here it is. I thought I'd forgotten my water bottle, but it was safe on the ground. It's very hot here in Darwin. I just can't go 30 seconds without my water bottle. Okay, so hello and welcome. I'm Linda. I've breezed in here in a rush because I was fixing up some day surgery stuff I had yesterday. It took a little longer than expected, so I do apologise. If you are in this space this morning, it's because you are wanting to hear about how to access your inner healer. That's what today's talk is about. I do hope that you're settled in a comfortable place to listen to this talk, because there will be a couple of sections as we go along where I'll take you into some experiential connection with what I'm talking about. So, not the best thing to be doing if you're driving. So if you're driving, when we get to that bit, if you'd like to pull over and just have a listen for those snippets, fantastic. Or perhaps if you're doing a walking meditation and you've got your earphones in to listen, you might just like to find a place to come to a stop just for those minutes when I do take you in for that experiential connection. And I'm just getting a message. My internet looked a bit wobbly, but it seems fine from this end. Okay, so welcome. Let's just take a moment to fully come into this place. And if you are seated, I invite you to ground your feet and connect through your feet to the plane that you're living on, the earth beneath, the foundation of your home, your apartment, your unit. Just really take a moment now, and if you'd like to soften your gaze or gently close your eyes, I'm about to do that myself. I will just welcome you into this space of sacred learning and healing today, acknowledging that our connection originates on Larrakia country. I pay honour and respect to the elders and give my heartfelt thanks to the Larrakia people, traditional owners of this country that I live, work and play on. I give thanks for your patience, for your generosity and your forbearance. And I seek to do spirit work here in harmony and deep accord with the existing spiritual connection in this place, for the healing and enlightenment of all. And I extend this regard, this thankfulness, this gratitude to the traditional owners, the natural custodians, the peoples to whom land is more than just a thing, where our connection meets at your place. And in this space, I also welcome in the protection of the guardians of the four quarters, asking that you hold this sacred space of connection within your sphere of protection. Welcoming Archangel Raphael, guardian of the East and the element of air. Welcoming Archangel Michael, guardian of the South and the element of fire. Welcoming the guardian of the West, Archangel Gabriel, and the element of water. Welcoming Archangel Uriel and the element of earth, guardian of the North. And I also invoke the protection of the guardians of the space above, Archangel Metatron, and the Christ Consciousness Grid. Archangel Sandalphon, and the Earth Consciousness Grid. And the guardian of the space within, our own higher self. Thank you all for being here today. I hope that our connection is better than what the message on the screen is. Okay, today I wanted to talk a little bit about how to access the inner healer. And this kind of continues on from what I was talking about last week in regard to the difference between cure and healing. So before we launch in, if you don't know who I am, I'm Linda Emsley. I am a spiritual healer in Darwin. I live with fibromyalgia myself. So I bring years of personal experience and research in managing a number of inflammatory conditions, including fibromyalgia myself, as well as my clinical training and experience in treating the local women of Darwin for acute stress, chronic illness, and a number of other things, but we need not go into that. So yes, I just bring everything I have to share with you. So when we talk about connecting with the inner healer, as with anything in spiritual development and the healing realm, there are many different layers. There are also many different approaches. There's no one particular right way or wrong way to do it. All I can say is there is your way. So what I aim to do is share some information and some techniques that you can add to your toolkit if they feel appropriate for you to do so, or if they trigger some further exploration, inspiration for you, that's wonderful too. Certainly I don't purport to be saying this is the right way and it's the only way, because I don't believe that there is any one particular right way. So what I'm sharing with you today is drawn from my own personal experience in managing my own chronic ill health, but also what I share with my Reiki students and what I share with my clients when I see them in session. So let's have a look at it. I actually come from a very body-based background because I started my journey into alternative health with massage therapy, and also a little bit of grounding in traditional Chinese medicine. So there's quite an influence in there about what goes on in the physiology and what goes on with the flow of the energy within the body and how those things come together. So when we start connecting with the inner healer, it's not like we're connecting with just one thing. What we're actually doing is connecting with a number of different layers of intelligence that reside or come together in this beautiful vessel of ours, the physical body. So we're looking at the innate intelligence that resides deep within at the cellular level even. You know, even each little cell has its own little snippet of consciousness. And so if we can imagine, you know, the body itself is built with different snippets of consciousness rising from the cellular level through the tissues, through the bones, the muscles, the organs, throughout the whole of the systems of the body. There are layers and complexities of consciousness within there. So there is an innate intelligence that lies deep within the body that if we learn to sit still and quiet, we can actually start connecting with this subliminal level of intelligence and consciousness. So that's one part of when I talk about connecting with the inner healer. That's one part of the picture. Then, of course, there is our intuitive intelligence, and that can be drawn, you know, from the energy field immediately about us and also the energetics that are flowing through the body. And from my perspective, it also draws on the emotional body and sometimes even what's going on in the mental body. It's kind of this nice little hot pot of consciousness coming together from a number of different sources, and it forms our intuition, this lovely little cauldron of stuff that I have here between my hands. So this is another element of consciousness or body held intelligence. Doesn't mean that it comes from the body, but for you, your intuition draws from these different areas and is contained within your body for you to access. So your wisdom is different to my wisdom because some of your filters are different to my filters. Some of your cellular intelligence is different to my cellular intelligence. Do you see what I'm saying? So we all have access to the same stuff, but when it gets mixed into the container that you're moving around in this lifetime, we get to interpret it with our own unique individual intelligence of the persona and the soul light that we are this time. Which brings me to the next level of consciousness that we can access, and this is the intellect. Now, often we get stuck with the intellectual consciousness of being in the analytical mind. That's where most of the Western world operates these days, is that analytical mind. This is like the only place that rational, reasonable, conscious intelligence lives for most of us. But in actual fact, we're only touching on the surface of what is available for wisdom in this particular center. So if we were able to sink into the consciousness available in the intellectual center, we would find that we have access to higher wisdom, to cosmic consciousness. This is where we can really start drawing in some of the insights to help guide us. I'm sure you've heard that that phrase, taking guided action. This is one of those ways that we can do that, is to learn how to connect more deeply but more slowly with each of these wisdom centers. So if I had a picture, let's use me as an example. Okay, so we can imagine that perhaps the consciousness or the intellectual center of consciousness sits in the head. That seems to make a lot of sense. And then we have our intuitive center of consciousness. So remember, I was talking about that being the intuition, the emotion, some of the mental body comes in, the immediate information in your very close energetic field, energy body comes in from there. And this is also how we start to pick up what's going on for other people as our energy fields come closer and start exchanging information. That's how we often are able to pick up mood, and perhaps even some of the psychic senses allow us to interpret, often accurately, what other people are thinking or feeling at a point in time, because our energy fields are actually exchanging a little bit of information. And the intuition center is going, oh, look at all this information coming in. Here we are. I'm going to interpret that for you as a sign or a symbol or a color or a feeling or a just knowing. That's the intuition center. Okay. And then, of course, I was talking about the innate intelligence of the physiology of the body at the cellular level and at the tissue level, through the waters of the body, all of those physiological aspects of the body. And you probably can't see it, but I'm looking at that energy center that resides low in the belly, below the belly button. Some traditions refer to this as the dantian. In the Reiki tradition, we refer to it as the hara. Some people call it the center for instinct. Anyway, this is the other center of consciousness that I'm talking about. So, can I just check in that everybody can still hear me okay? And if there are any thoughts or questions about what I've talked about so far in relation to 3 centers of consciousness. Just need to take a quick sip of my water. So if there are any questions, pop them in, and if all's good, I'll just keep going. Wonderful. It looks like everybody is on board so far with what I'm saying, that it's making sense. It has some resonance for you. That's wonderful. So, how do we actually make connection with these centers of consciousness? Michelle, you've just popped something. Still here and see and no questions. Awesome. Thank you. So how do we make connection with these 3 centers of consciousness to access our inner healer? And what are we doing when we access our inner healer? What is that all about? Often we have, particularly if someone who is living with chronic illness, there is an ongoing situation within the body that has so many different moving parts to it. Where do you actually start? How do you start affecting sustainable change with what you're experiencing? Is there just one route in? My answer to that would be no, not in my experience. It seems to be that here's a pathway for you to follow for a little while, and then all of a sudden another pathway opens up and change starts happening, and then we find ways to balance and reinforce that level of change, and then all of a sudden another avenue opens over here and another avenue opens over here, and again we start combining the wisdom until suddenly it all becomes like this melding pot, and then we are able to start taking direction from the body itself about what it needs when you access your inner healer. So the easiest, simplest, quickest way to get in touch with the inner healer is to take the practices that I'm sure you're already doing to support yourself, such as meditation, any movement-based meditation such as yoga or Tai Chi or Qigong. The components in there that help you reach the point of understanding that my thoughts are not my body, my thoughts are not my consciousness, my thoughts are not my wisdom. My thoughts are just part of the framework of filtering and understanding that keeps me safe in this world, but they're not the be-all and end-all of who I am. I'm something more than that. The something more than that is this overlay of consciousness that comes through from source and can be found in these different areas of the body. It's all throughout the body. It doesn't sit in just one particular spot. And this inner wisdom can manifest to you in ways that are easy for you to relate to, such as your inner child. Perhaps there is a spirit guide. They also actually are external to you, but they can help guide you, particularly if you're relating with your personal spirit guide, who is actually here to help you become the full potential of who you are in this lifetime. They can guide you on how to best be that divine filter of consciousness within the earthbound body. And so this is where we start accessing that wisdom for how do I feel better, move better, think better when my body is falling apart. How do I do this? What do I do? Okay, so the learning that you've taken from meditation or yoga, the training that you're doing, that you're helping yourself with in not being distracted by your thoughts, but coming back to this space of something other. That something other, the observer or the detached self or the spring of wisdom, however you like to phrase it, this is your inner healer. This is the well of intelligence and intuition and consciousness that can best guide you to start taking the action you need to take for healing to filter through the body in a way that is sustainable. Okay, so let's have a look at how we can create space within. Let's take that practice of meditation right now, and I invite you to just gently close down your eyes or soften your gaze, whichever works for you. And I also invite you to just, we'll do a short Reiki practice, if that's okay with you, of bringing your hands together in prayer, but not squashing the palms flat together, but rather having them just gently open, almost like you can imagine there's a little moth that's floating around inside and you're just gently containing it. So we've got open space, but all our fingers and thumbs come together, and then just placing that gently in front of the heart, closing down the eyes or lowering your gaze, and just gently inclining the head. In this attitude of gaso, we acknowledge with humble thankfulness our right place in the universe. And in the simple act of bringing our two hands together, acknowledging the coming together within self. Just invite you to take a couple of breaths here and really notice the simple action of bringing hands together in front of the heart, inclining the head, and allowing the breath to become slower and deeper is all it takes to initiate stillness within. I just invite you to notice, sense, feel, or imagine that each breath draws you gently in, deeper into the sanctuary of your body. And that you're noticing through the feet the connection with the earth, gently anchoring you to the earth plane as you find that space within. And you might find your awareness, the energy of self, being drawn gently into the heart space. Just allow yourself with every breath to sink gently into your heart space. And as you feel yourself collecting in your heart space, noticing the noise of the day-to-day moving further away from you. Noticing the insistent demands that tug at your attention, fading and receding as you sink into heart space. And now I invite you to sense, see, or feel the heart space opening around you. And noticing as this space opens around you, a sense of sacred stillness wrapping softly, gently around you. And the sound, hustle, and busyness of everyday thought and attention moving further and further away. Just take a couple more breaths here in your own time, experiencing the open stillness within. Okay. Now, gently allow yourself to come back to ordinary, everyday, having a sense of that space, gently closing down around you as your awareness moves back to its usual place. Just gently wiggling the toes and the fingers and blinking your eyes open. Okay, how did everybody go with that? Were you able to have that sense of stillness and then space opening on the inside? Just let me know in the comments if there were any difficulties or not understanding what was being asked. Just let me know how you went, and then we can move on to the next bit. So this is a really powerful bit, is to be able to have that sense of stillness, to really understand the space within the body offers us a sanctuary. Even when pain is really intense, even when fatigue is ruling the world like it does sometimes, even when you can't get out of bed, this sanctuary within is the place for you to go and start seeking that higher wisdom, that guidance, that connection with the inner healer, so that you can get input from the wisdom within about what it is you need to do for yourself right now. Okay, so no questions and no concerns. Fantastic. I will keep moving on. Okay, so that's step one, is the creating the space within. Okay, once we've done that, I need a drink of my water. Please bear with me. Once we've done that, creating the space, the thing is to then start a sacred conversation. So what do I mean when I say sacred conversation? What is that? It's a space of loving compassion for yourself in particular. It's a space where judgment and blame are put aside. And it's a place where open curiosity and wonder are invited in. So sacred conversation is a place for asking questions, for opening the heart through, and for letting go of any form of resistance, whether it be judgment, blame, looking for an easy answer. Sometimes the answers are easy. I like it when they are. But, assuming that everything's going to be just handed to you in a way that you can immediately grasp and understand, we also need to let go of that concept as well and be open to receive the wisdom as it comes, even if you don't understand it. So sometimes it can take quite a bit of practice of coming into this stillness within, and then being able to let go of, I must have a clear answer so I know immediately how to take action. That's putting barriers in the way of wisdom that's trying to come through to you. Rather, if we can find a space that says, okay, this is how intense it is for me right here in this space. This is what I experience, and I really need your help. Please, please help me. And then being open to the fact that the answer coming through, I might not be in the right space yet to hear it properly. It could be that I need to keep asking the same question and doing something else in the meantime to help me get to that place where I can clearly receive the wisdom that's coming through in a way that I can actually access and start interpreting what this means for me. And often what that means is, when we are in a place of extremis, when we are in intense pain, when we are depressed, when we are just so foggy, I can't even remember what my name is, this is hard work. It is hard, and I'm not denying that. But one of the really powerful things that we can do to help ourselves is look at the things that raise our vibration, that allow us to release stuck energy, so that when we do come to these practices, we're in a better place. It's like, clearing the static and increasing the range of the antenna, or fine-tuning the antenna so it comes into the correct bandwidth, so you can clearly receive that flow of information in a way that you can better interpret what it means for you. So some of the ways that we can raise our vibrations are very easy. We can sing. If movement is available to you and it doesn't cause additional pain, dancing is wonderful. Watching a comedy, something that actually makes you laugh. What we're trying to do is shift that vibration and raise it up, because it's easier to connect with higher wisdom when our own personal vibration is higher. And that's hard to do when you're chronically ill. I'm not denying that, but it's not impossible. And there are little hacks like watching things that make you laugh, watching things that make your heart open, playing with your pets or your children, the things that really open the heart, make you feel good. Start doing more of that and then come into this practice. Okay, so then when we come into this practice and release judgment, release blame, release guilt, release all the things that create resistance to receiving truth, then we invite our sense of humor in as well. Humor is a really good help for interpreting higher wisdom when it comes in. That's when the magic really starts to happen. So let's take a moment now to re-find that open stillness within, to allow that space to open. And then if it feels safe and comfortable for you to do so, just invite your inner child into that space with you. There's no need to initiate conversation unless you feel that that is okay to do. All I ask you to do is just invite your inner child into this space with you, so that you get to have that experience of, this is my space, and now it's my space shared with an aspect of me that brings wisdom from another dimension. Does that make sense? Okay, so again, hopefully no one's driving. I ask you to gently close down your eyes. We'll bring the hands to Gasso again, because I find that the quickest, easiest way to come to that center place of stillness. Gently closing down the eyes, feeling that earth connection through your feet. Taking a deep breath in, and with the gentle exhale, just noticing, sensing, seeing or feeling your awareness sinking down within, so that with every breath you gently move into your heart space, allowing yourself to fully collect in your heart space. And once your full self has coalesced in this space, noticing the protection this sanctuary provides from the everyday, allowing the busyness, the intruding thoughts, all of those things that don't need your attention right now, to remain outside your sanctuary. And noticing with every breath now that space opening out further and further, creating a huge amount of space between you and the demands of the ordinary world. You are in a space of timelessness, in a space held sacred and safe, And with your next in-breath, just gently call, ask, invite your inner child to join you in this beautiful space. Just being with whatever the experience for you is. Noticing, sensing, feeling, imagining your inner child. Welcome them in. Welcome them into this heart space with you. And just notice how it feels in this space. Is there any change with the presence of your inner child? What do you notice about your inner child? What do you notice about your space? What do you notice about your own awareness in the presence of your inner child? Just noticing the presence without initiating any conversation. Noticing the presence of your inner child and noticing what that brings to you in this space. And taking a moment now to give thanks to your inner child for spending time with you. And let them know that we can do this again and that perhaps you want to do it again soon. Just noticing them as they leave, observing what's going on for you and what's happening in your space as your inner child leaves. And just taking a nice deep breath and following the exhale all the way to the end. Wiggling your toes and fingers, coming back to ordinary awareness and gently blinking your eyes open. Okay, how was that? Did you experience any change in your space? What did you notice? These are just some observations for you to be making, to notice for yourself, and to start developing your own language of understanding what those changes signal or signify for you. Okay, because each of us will have our own unique experience and understanding of what goes on in our own inner sanctuary. Okay, so that was creating the space and then initiating sacred conversation. So it's coming into that place without judgment, without blame, without anger, guilt, any of those things that create resistance to receiving higher wisdom. We had practice at calling in the inner child and just noticing what that presence was like. Making observation about our own awareness in that presence. Making observation about any changes in the space in that presence. So when we get practiced with this sort of thing, this is where we can start taking our conversation deeper and working with the different layers of intelligence or consciousness that reside in the body. Once we become practiced, particularly with the inner child, because sometimes they give us incredible guidance as to things that we completely miss, that they see through the eye of a child with such clarity. It's like, oh my God, how did I miss that? How did I not understand what was going on for me there? Right, thank you very much. And they do it in a way that is so joyful and uplifting. I mean, sometimes there is healing for the inner child that's required. Sometimes the inner child is hurt or neglected and needs to come into your heart to be brought together in love with you. That's a whole different story. But for today's exercise, appreciating and acknowledging the presence of the inner child is the starting point. So once we've got practice with that sort of thing, that's when we can start identifying areas of the body that perhaps we'd like to initiate sacred conversation with. Say, for instance, there is an incredible amount of pain stored in one area of the body. When we find this place of stillness and then we open the space within our sacred sanctuary and we drop the analytic side of things and the judge and blame and guilt and all of that stuff, and then invite that part of the body to join us in the sanctuary. That's where we can start having really powerful healing conversations to work out, well, what is going on for you here? From an everyday consciousness level, we make assumptions about what's going on for the body and how we treat it. And often it's just to make pain go away. But when we bring those different areas of the body into conversation in this sacred space, we teach ourselves to ask questions in a non-judgmental way and then wait for the answer to come back and not just assume that we think we know the answer already. Because often we assume we think we know the answer and it's completely wrong. So the next piece of the puzzle is to wait for the full answer to surface. Because if you're anything like me, I get half the answer and I go, right, I know the answer, and off I go to try and do something with it. And it's taking a long time for me to actually go, hang on, I'm still skating on the surface here. What we need to do is give ourselves the grace to say, I've only received part of the answer and I need to understand more of what's going on before I can take truly guided action that will make significant, sustainable change for me. So this is where we need to do a little bit more practice, and that's where, your daily practices of meditation and yoga and any of the other things, whether you're journaling, look, I can't think of other things at the moment, but you understand, the spiritual development work that you're already engaged in is so powerful here to help train you to find the patience, to be able to sit in stillness and wait for the answer to come rather than take action, looking, seeking. We just need to sit and wait for the information. It's already there. We need to wait for ourselves to be in a space where we're able to receive it in the way that it's meant to be received. The information is always right there at our fingertips. It's like not seeing those opportunities, right? When there's opportunities in front of you, but you just can't see it, and you get a tarot reading and they say, you're surrounded by opportunities, but you have this blindfold on. Same deal going on here. The information is always there in front of us. We just don't know how to access it because we don't give ourselves permission to be completely receptive in a way that works for us. Okay, so this is an invitation for you to keep working with your own practices. Maybe experiment with what I'm sharing with you today, just to see if that allows you to find the place where all of a sudden I've got much more information than I was getting before. Okay, so when we wait for the full answer to surface, I'm just checking my notes. Okay, patience. Patience is the thing that we need the most. And perhaps you need to start with something easy, like rather than trying to find the deeper answer to how do I clear my nervous system completely of anxiety, perhaps we need to start practicing first with something like, okay, I notice sometimes when I eat this sort of food, I get this response, but other times when I eat it, it's okay. So how can I know when it's okay? And this might seem like a really trivial example, but it's a really good one to start because you've already got some experience of, yep, I know that I can eat gluten sometimes, and other times it's going to throw me into bed. So how can I manage my gluten intake? Because I really like croissants. When am I going to know that it's okay to have one of those? So this is one of the ways that you can start practicing developing the patience and the receptivity to absorb the wisdom that's coming through to you, and then enable yourself to learn the language so that you understand the wisdom that's coming through to you. It's much more about learning to interpret than it is about receiving. Okay? So rather than just getting the surface answer that our intuition has picked up straight away, we need to go, intuition has provided me a clue. Thank you very much, intuition. I'm just going to sit with this. Few more breaths, a few more breaths, a few more breaths. So let's see if you've got something to practice this with. Maybe it's looking at a trigger that you're already familiar with, something that you know will tip you into a flare-up, and maybe it's food, maybe it's situations you go to, maybe it's particular people in your space in particular situations, like, staff meetings might be one. Just bring something into mind at the moment that you have enough of an understanding around what you think may be going on for you, but where there might be uncertainty about, am I managing this the best way I can for myself? Do I need to exclude XYZ from my diet completely? Or, are there circumstances where it's okay to do this? Have an explore, have a play, see what you think. It could be particular people. Sometimes people bring us down. And that's just the nature of human interaction. There is no judgment, there is no blame. It just is that at a certain point in our own vibration, being around somebody else who's at a particular vibration is just going to make us feel like shit. So don't go there. Yeah. So what further information do I need to know? Do I need to get rid of this person from my life altogether? Or do I just need to arrange to connect with them at particular points in time? Like it might be a particular point in the moon cycle, for instance, or it might be a particular point in your menstrual cycle if you happen to be still menstruating, or it could be some other cycle that's going on for you that only goes on for you in your unique body because of what's going on for your physiology. So it's all about learning about yourself and then enabling yourself to receive that higher wisdom input to then navigate things even better, so that we break through this boom-bust cycle of flare-ups and fall-downs, and we can reset our baseline from down here in miserable to up here in, oh, yeah, I can do this. Yeah, I got this today. Okay, that's what this is all about. So waiting for the full answer to surface. So if you've pulled something to mind about what you want to experiment with, I'll invite you to come back into your inner sanctuary to come back into that space of stillness, and then to connect with the aspect of self that you understand is being impacted, triggered, or let down even by the thing that you want to experiment with. Invite that aspect of self. And if you're not clear on what that aspect of self is, that's okay. Just open the question within the space and allow yourself to receive whatever comes in whatever form it is, whether it's a picture, color, word, or whether it's just a feeling of presence, I think is the best way to describe it, that you might not have information coming through as yet as such, but you have a sense that, oh yeah, I've made connection here and there is an answer coming. I just can't understand it yet. Okay, so you might not come away with information, but you come away with a sense of, I've made connection with the area I need to connect with. Okay, so let's give that a go. And then we've gone over time. How unusual for me. Okay, so if it's okay for everyone to gently close your eyes or just soften the gaze, please do. Gently bring the hands together in gusto and allow the breath and that humble thankfulness being on this blessed earth guide you into the heart space. And you may be noticing now the easier it is to sink into the heart space and notice the blessed relief of the ordinary world moving away, of stepping into the inner sanctuary and being enveloped in spaciousness designed specifically for your comfort, for your safety, for your needs. This is your sanctuary, holding revered space for the divine spark that is you. And just bringing in that memory of experience of inviting the inner child in and working with that memory experience. Invite that aspect of self that you feel contains the insight you need right now. Allow your breath to remain soft and easy. Allow yourself to be present with the experience without force, without judgment. Just inviting that aspect that has insight to share with you right now. Receiving the inflow of that consciousness. Allowing yourself to receive the information. And if you're finding it difficult to just be with this receiving, just allow your awareness to sink deeper into the body. Just letting your awareness move down into the energy center that lies deep in the belly, below the belly button. Feeling yourself anchored deeper into the body. Just breathe and be present. Having faith that even though the intellectual mind hasn't fully grasped what's going on, this information is being received and anchored in at the instinctive level, in the center of consciousness that resides in the innate intelligence of the body. And having faith, expecting, knowing that over time this wisdom will reveal itself. In perfect timing. And just taking a steady in-breath and a steady out-breath as you notice your awareness gently rising back up through the body, sliding easily back into the heart space. Allowing yourself a few more breaths here, and maybe noticing a clearer understanding of what's needed. Or a more complete picture of what's going on. Or just being with the state of understanding you have right now. And giving thanks to that aspect of you for sharing. Noticing that aspect of self withdrawing. And you are once again alone in your heart space, free and easy. Taking a nice deep breath in and following the exhale all the way to the end. Getting ready to come back to ordinary everyday consciousness. Gently wiggling your toes and your fingers and blinking your eyes open. Okay. So I hope that provided enough of an experience of what I've been talking about to give you an idea or a starting point, or even a continuation point for those of you who have already reached this place. We have some very powerful tools available to us. Sometimes we just need to actually take the time to work more slowly and more deeply with those tools. So thank you very much for your presence today. It's been an absolute pleasure to share some of the ways to access the inner healer. As I said right at the beginning, there is no particular one way to do this. I don't have all the answers. I only have what I know, which is, like this much of everything that's available. So it is my pleasure to be able to share this with you. I hope that you received some insight today that helps you in your healing journey. If you got benefit from today's session, I'd love for you to join me if that's okay. I've created a brand new group in Insight Timer. It's called Thrive, Transcend Chronic Illness. So if you have particular questions that you haven't had a chance to ask today, or they haven't actually surfaced yet, because that often happens, the questions often come, a day or two later, that would be a good place to put them. And I will endeavour to remind myself to check into my brand new group and see if there are questions in there, okay? So thank you so much. We have gone over time, and I do appreciate you staying with me for as long as you have. I'm Linda Emsley. It has been my pleasure to share with you today. As we bring this circle to a close, I give my heartfelt thanks to the sacred custodians of the lands that we connect on. I do pay my deepest respect and regard to the elders of our countries. And may you have a blessed weekend and find the answers that you seek. Many blessings. Oh, there's some comments. Hang on, I'll just read those. Cat. That resonates with where you are. Awesome. So, Kat, unfortunately, no, Insight Timer apparently doesn't record these sessions. But if you have specific questions, if you head on over to the group, you'll find it through my profile. Or, yes, if you search up the name Thrive, Transcend Chronic Illness, we can connect and have a conversation there. Sometimes teachers record. Oh, okay. I might have to look into how they do that. Thanks for that little tip. Thanks, Kat. I appreciate it. Okay. Look, thanks so much, everybody. Have a wonderful weekend. And I do have another one coming up. I can't remember. I can't remember when it is. It's on my schedule. So long as it's in my calendar, it's going to happen, right? So if you'd like more of this type of thing, more talk around managing chronic illness, that's the stuff I'm doing. All right, bye for now, and I'll see you hopefully at the next one or over in the group. Bye.